Hello everyone. In this session, I'm going to show you how to set the default value in Dropdown control where your data is coming from the data source control. Okay, so let's get started. First, I will add the Dropdown control. So this is my Dropdown. Okay, I'll drag it over here, and here I'm going to get the data from the data source. So what is my data? So here I'm going to the solution. Here I have created one more table in Dataverse. This is my customer table, and in customer table I have created several columns. So this columns, this table I'm going to use in my drop-down control. Okay, so how do I add the data in my Power App? So there is very simple. It is go to the this tab called Data tab. Here in my case, I already added this customer table, but if you want to add new data table from Dataverse, so you can click on this plus button and search your table. So now let's go to the screen again. So yeah, this is my page where I'm going to add, where I have added this drop-down control. I will go to this, check this property. Here I need to use this visible property and get the data in my collection. So how do I get the data in my collection? So I need to use clear collect formula, and this is my customer, this is my collection, and I'm going to use my customer table. So this is my customer YTS table, and that's it. So I here I'm not going to do any filter operation or sorting operation, just get the data from the data source and using my collection. So let me check. I again click on the same screen to load the data initially, and you can see, yeah, you can see all the data from the data source is now used available in my collection. So this this is done. Now the next step, I need to use this collection in my in the drop down. So in drop down, here I have this property called items property. Here I am going to use this collection. Okay, so let me click on here, called customers. Okay, so this is my customer column, and as you can see, once I added this customer column, I have all the data available, and here there's some random value showing in my drop down control. So instead of this numeric value, I want to show the customer name. So how do I do it? So here I have two properties, item where we have added the this is the uh, collection, and second is value property. So in my value property, if I click on this drop down control, I could see all the available columns which I have created in my customer table. So out of this, I am going to use this name. So you can see this name properties updated, and then all the names are showing. So in my case, I have the table called customer where I have all the company names are listed as a customer in my table. So those all the records have been showing, but it is not properly showing in the proper way. I need to sort it. So how do I go to sort it? Click on this control, go to this item property, use sort by column function, provide the name. This is the system name, and sort by ascending. So yeah, that's it. So now you can see all the names are properly coming up in alphabetical name, A, E, N. This is all correct properly. Now this is done. Now what would be the next? So here I want to set up the default property. Okay, so if I go down here and to the another screen and again came back to this screen, the alphabetically the order is always the first uh, record of the alphabetic order is showing here. But if we want to change the this default this drop down value name into the default name, so how can do it? So first of all, you can add the default property. Click on this control, go to the default. Here you have the by default it's one is already been selected. Instead of this, from this list you can choose any default property which is kept in the first place in the drop down control. So in this case, I have this Ekta Institute Private Limited, so I can simply use this Ekta Institute Private Limited name over here. So I already copied it. Let me copy this Ekta Institute and simply paste it. Okay, so now you can see whenever I go back and come to this screen, always the first name, the default name always show this Extra Institute Private Limited. All right, so this is done. Now, so this is working as expected. Now there's a one more requirement. Like let's say if I want to show here instead of particular information which is coming from the table, instead of this record I wanted to show some custom value over here. Let's say a select word. So whenever user come to this page, we can see the select world is written over here, and user can understand, okay, this has to be drop down where I need to select the values. So the only select statement I want to show in this drop down control, but this select statement is not available in my drop down control. So how do I add it? Okay, so let's go to again here, go to page property, it's visible state. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to, there are two way, let me show you this two way. First of all, you can just go to your data source. This is your data source, right? Here you have all the list of records available in your data source, and you can just simply add new record, simple new blank record in your table. And then you can, with the help of this this default value, just simply provide that select name added over here, and it will just simply show you the select name. But this is not the the correct coding practices, and this is not I'm not going to recommend you. Instead of this, we can do some coding inside our canvas application. So how do we do it? So this, the alternate way is like, first of all, we already have this collection available, right? Instead of directly doing some operation on data source, we already have this collection available, which is available in our power apps local environment. So we can do same operation in our collection by using patch keyword, patch function. So let's say I need to use it, patch, provide the data source name, then create the lookup for my collection and name. So just for this formula, I'm using blank, because what I'm going to do, yeah, blank, and then I will create open curly bracket and simply provide the so name. And here what I'm going to do, I simply use select. All right, here what I'm going to do, I'm just simply creating simple blank record and just add one column and insert only one value into name as a select, because I don't want any other information to be present on other screen, just for this select statement. And pretty much that's it. Okay, again I'm navigating to the other screen and came back to the main screen. Here you can see my collection is loaded. Yeah, and let's see the patch statement. Let me minimize a little bit, go to the collection. Yeah, so let's see that by using the patch function, which is used to create a new record into my gallery in my data source, let's see that control that new record gets added or not. So let me scroll down, description. Yeah, you can see this is my this is my name field that I have used as a select, and this new record gets added locally in my collection. Okay, so that's it, that the one that I want to looking for. Now again go back to this, here go back to this property, came here, and instead of using this entire name, I can simply use this select. And now, because this select is now available within my data source, that's why PowerApps drop-down control able to choose that select keyword, select record, and just add it as a default property, set and add it default property in the drop-down control. So as you can see, all the time, always it shows the select first, and then rest of the records in alphabetic orders. So that is here. Again, let's go back to another screen. Again, came back to this screen. Oops. Now what happening over here? You can see now select is showing on the top, but whenever I'm navigating from one screen to another screen and came back here, that always again this alphabetic order is comes up on the top. I will show you again. Go back to the other screen, came back to main screen. You can see this is the first letters come up. Instead of this, I want this select statement should be always visible first on the drop down list. So how we can do it? Okay, let's go here again, click on the drop down control, go to default property. So instead of just simply using the select statement, what I can do, I will provide one formula called lookup. I already have collection, customers. Then I'm simply provide name equal to select name dot, this is name. So what I'm doing, I just again I'm going back to my I'm using this lookup function to going back to the records, using this name and providing the filter operation where I want to default properties always been select, and I'm providing this formula in my drop-down control. And let's see, this is working as expected. So again, by default it's showing select, but when I'm navigating from one screen to another screen and came back to the main screen, as you can see, is always select is always show on the top. So by this way, user for the user experience, for user is pretty much good, so they can click on this record and use that appropriate result for their operations. So that's it, guys. So if you like this video, please press like button, which encourage me to create further more videos for you guys. Thank you.